My name is Charlae Davis, and I am the Executive Director of Isaac, and our mission of Isaac is to build the beloved community. Dr. Martin Luther King spoke of the beloved community, and he said that it's a democratic value. While not devoid of conflict, it is free of violence, and it's a place where our deepest values of abundance, equity, community, hope, and most of all, love are infused into our practices and our policies. I have been born and raised in Kalamazoo. I love Kalamazoo, but then I also have to reflect and be honest and say that not all are yet held as beloved in Kalamazoo, in our community. We have to be honest and do some truth-telling. Isaac has 31 member congregations and organizations, those who are of faith, those who are of consciousness, and we are currently focusing on housing, anti-racism, group violence intervention, and gun violence prevention. So a few things about Isaac that makes us special. The first thing is that we are about rooted change. Whatever work that we do, we want to ensure that the generations that come behind us feel the impacts of our work. So for example, in housing, we held listening sessions pre-pandemic, and we heard from those who have been impacted by housing insecurities that there were some root causes that were keeping them from getting into housing. They had jobs, they had income, but there were barriers. For example, women who might have had evictions due to domestic violence. That's an example. Others talked about being discriminated against based upon ability or health. And then others talked about being impacted by the criminal justice system. They had already served their time, came trying to get housing, do better, and they still can't find housing because of something they did years ago. Also, gun violence. We really are about humanizing beyond the stats, because when we lose our beloved community members, those are loved ones, somebody's parent, somebody's child, somebody's whoever, right? Loved one. And so really humanizing and understanding that after someone has lost someone to gun violence, they are a survivor, but the support doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop after the funeral, so to speak. A lot of times we find that some of our clients need help leaving, relocating, getting out of Kalamazoo. That might be the best thing for them. Also, trauma resources that are culturally competent for them to deal with that loss and that grief. We have 2 on-the-ground teams, GVI, which is Group Violence Intervention, and then Blacks Club, and they do an awesome job. These are impacted community members. They have been there. They can really talk to those who are impacted and experiencing these barriers, and they're just doing awesome work to make sure that everybody is held as beloved. And then lastly here, anti-racism. We want to make sure that there are opportunities and encounters for anybody who is ready around racial healing, around white family allyship, around our own BIPOC family work that we have to do. And then also, we want to make sure that we're not just going to trainings and then it stops there, but we're living it into the work that we do, our daily life. So another thing about Isaac, we stay at the table, and I always have to laugh about that because I have to say we do not always agree, not at all, and that is okay, but what we agree upon is love, is justice, is understanding, again, going back to the beloved community, that not all are held as beloved just yet, and that's what we're working on here in Kalamazoo County. And then lastly, engagement moments and moments of difficult conversations. So if I asked you all who likes difficult conversations, I'm sure no one would raise their hands, and I understand that. I saw somebody doing this. I understand. I wouldn't raise my hand either. But there is something about healthy conflict when you are building the beloved community. Sometimes you have to have those tough and love conversations as well to be able to change the system. And remember, Dr. King said it's not devoid of conflict, but it is free of violence. So if we do it in love, then we can see that change. So really quickly, I'm not going to ask you all to hold hands, but you can just finger up or hand or whatever you want to do. If this statement applies to you, feel free to raise your hand. And so if you feel worried for what the year holds ahead, a little bit of worry or concern, All right, I see everybody's hand. If you feel overwhelmed sometimes on where to start, or you look at what's before us and the disparities, and it's sometimes a little discouraging, raise your hand. All right. And if you know that those who came before us, our ancestors, no matter how difficult, stayed the course and brought change together, if you believe that and know that, raise your hand. And then lastly, if you believe that all in our community should be held as beloved in word and deed, and you believe that you hold a vital role, Ken already has the hands up, holds a vital role in this work, raise your hand. Thank you. Awesome, awesome. So today, before I leave you here, as we are thinking about what's ahead of us, I encourage you all, if you have the capacity, if you have the time, if it's the season for you, to go ahead and step out of our comfort zones and to do something new this year. I saw the pictures and I heard about the awesome Layla Saad watch party that you all had. It looks so awesome, so thank you all for organizing that. Also, coming up is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. It's a day on, that's what we used to say in Ann Arbor, a day on, not a day off. Even if you are watching at home or watching live stream, thinking about the work that Dr. King did and how we can live that work out here in 2025. There are racial healing events as well. If you're on Facebook or if you want more information, feel free to reach out. And then Ken, if you reach out to Ken can get a hold of me as well if you don't have my contact or my email. Lastly here, I just wanted to say on the back table right there, there are 3 different sheets. I invite you all, there's an orange, a pink, and a green. I invite you all, if you have time, to go ahead and grab those after service. Look at them. Each one is connected to one of the task forces. And if there's something that's speaking to you and calling to you to lean in on, feel free to fill that out. That's my timer to stop. Feel free to fill that out and then get it back to Ken, give it back to Mary or Dr. R, and they'll get it to me. And then last quote here from Layla Saad. We are beneficiaries of those who have come before us and the custodians of those who come after us after we are gone. We are bridges of hope. And I want to say that again, we are bridges of hope as we are going into this year and the years to come. So my UUCC family, please know, and we know, that there's much work to do. I am energized to be bridges of hope with you all. And as I always say too, if this is the right season, let's do it. And then if it's a season of wellness and health, take care of that too. And then join us in the work. Love you all.